guys, it's Gail here again. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today, a little bit of a Q&A that both Jazmin and I are going to be answering. Just questions that we feel that we've been asked frequently, so we thought it'd be better to answer them together. But first, Jazmin, I'd really like you to introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Jazmin Henson. I'm 20 years old, like Gail, and I have stage 4 metastatic adrenocortical carcinoma. So the cancer originated in my adrenal gland. Yeah, that's kind of me in that sort of nutshell.
Okay, yeah, and as you guys know, or don't, I have metastatic Ewing's-like sarcoma. So it originated in a tumor around my right carotid artery at the base of my skull, and has traveled to my lungs, my liver, all the fun stuff. So moving right along, the first question I will ask is, why did you choose natural treatment?
So for me, I was diagnosed about 3.5 years ago when I was 17. Right away, I was diagnosed with stage 4, and doctors told me that likely chemotherapy wouldn't do anything. They still wanted me to try it, but they gave me very poor prognosis with it. And so pretty much right away from the beginning, we felt as a family very led to do alternative medication because of that reason, because we felt that chemotherapy wouldn't be what would help me. So I started doing natural treatments right away 3.5 years ago from the very beginning.
Did people think you were crazy?
Oh my God. Yeah, people thought I was nuts. My best friends were like so upset about it at first. A lot of people were shaking their heads and questioning me on my, mental okayness. And so for sure.
It was different for me because I already went through like conventional treatments, and they failed me. They told me that there was nothing more that they could do when my cancer spread, and to basically just go home and get ready to die, essentially. So as a family, we decided that that was not an option, and so natural treatment seemed like the most logical way to go. So, moving on, the next question I have is, if you could give back your cancer, would you, and why?
I think a lot of people might expect us to say, like, absolutely, for sure. For me, I've learned so much, and I think I've changed and grown so much as a person through this experience that I would not give it back. If that meant erasing all the memories that I have and, unlearning all the stuff that I got to learn through this, definitely I'd want to, give it back if I could keep those memories. But, I think I've learned too much and grown too much to sacrifice that.
Yeah, I'm a completely different person than I was. I didn't really like myself before I got sick, but now that I'm like this brand new person, because that's what cancer does to you. It literally changes you. And the person I am now, like, I'm happy to say, like, I love myself. So, like, there's so many big lessons, and you also get, like, a perspective, like, brand new perspective on things, like, things that would make you upset before, you don't even blink an eye, like, when there are problems.
Yeah, when I was in first year university, I had already had cancer for about 1.5 years or 2 years maybe, and I had exams coming up, and all my friends were like stressed to the max. And I mean, it was like, whatever, you gotta do what you gotta do. And I think that was because I've dealt with so much stress in my life.
We definitely know how to handle stress. Much more, better. I don't know.
Better than we did before.
But speaking of that, like, what do you think the most valuable lessons that you've learned through this are?
I think a big thing is just realizing what's important. and realizing that, your grades, getting perfect marks, those aren't the things that are going to define you later on in life. The importance of relying on God through tough times, that's a huge thing that I've learned that I didn't really have to learn before because I wasn't in that before. The importance of family and surrounding yourself with people who love you and who you love, and quality time with people, I think those are things that I didn't cherish before.
Yeah, there's a whole new perspective, like I said, appreciating the time you have with the people you love, and like making sure that they know that they're loved, and just not sweating the small stuff. That's a huge one.
And it's funny because small stuff, that's a huge perspective change too, because before you wouldn't necessarily think that one thing would be small, so you put it into perspective and realize that, wow, that's not important, or as important as I thought it was. Yeah.
So, next question I have is it hard to tell people about your diagnosis?
Yeah, we were talking about this before, and for me, I never had chemotherapy, and so I never looked sick other than maybe a slight bit underweight. And so when I tell new people, they're completely shocked and completely just like, what? And they react so hugely, and so I tend to not tell people if it's somebody who I'm never gonna see again. Like, I've had a lot of people ask me, oh, why are you going to Arizona? Or, you know what I mean, if it's in passing at a grocery store or something, and I'll just be like, oh, just visiting, and rather than explaining that I'm a cancer patient and I'm here doing cancer treatment. But yeah, for me, I think it is really hard to bring up and tell people. Although, when I do tell people, like new friends, I like their reaction from it because it's so like shock and awe, like oh my goodness,
it's almost fun. In a bad way. So not okay, dark sense of humor, but like I love telling people because they're like, what do you mean you have cancer? You look great. I'm like, I know, but
of course I look great.
Like, I'm not okay. So, but I also love telling people because they'll ask me questions like we've been asked, and I love to tell people, like, don't sweat the small stuff, like, love, like.
And I think too, us being Christians is huge, like, it gives us a huge opportunity to talk about our faith, and I think that's really cool. Because people accept things more when you're sick, and that's sad to say. But if I were to say that, you know what, I have faith in Christ and I am strong because of Him, some people without the cancer would just be like, okay, whatever. But with it, they look at that as you being strong and you having strong faith and getting your strength from the Lord, and they actually believe that that's true.
I like that. Next question. How did it affect your family and friends? Your diagnosis.
So I was diagnosed a long time ago, and I was a kid when it was all happening, and I mean, my family and friends were devastated. My parents were very much like, oh my goodness, they had never been through stuff like this before. We have never really dealt with a lot of sickness. Although my mother's mother died of lung cancer only a few years before I was diagnosed, and so that was really hard on her to have now a child with the same disease. And I think my friends, they took it hard too, because that's not something you're used to when like a 16, 17-year-old kid gets diagnosed with cancer. It's a big, scary word. And so a lot of people don't even really know how to react. And they don't want you to die, and they don't know how to, treat you. I find it, very...
At first, it was hard because no one really knew, because this was all new, like none of my close friends had ever had one of their close friends sick. None of my family had really any experience in this, so at first they were just shocked, and obviously devastated, but they also didn't really understand like how to act around me. So it was a little weird at first, in my opinion. But as soon as like time went on, like they realized like I'm still me, like I could still do things. Then it got a lot better. But it also like strengthened my relationship with like all of my family members and all of my friends. Like they weren't as good of relationships as they are now.
Yeah, for sure. I think when you go through something like that, it definitely brings you closer together. I think too, for me, when I was first diagnosed, my parents really babied me, and because you know what I mean, like it's hard to
It's a child.
So that was interesting to kind of deal with as a 17-year-old kid.
Okay. What keeps us mentally okay?
Well, I've mentioned it a few times before, but I'm a Christian, and I definitely put my faith in Christ, and that definitely keeps me strong, I think, too, just knowing that God's there with me, and I can rely on Him and talk to Him. And definitely, too, like my friends and family who are supportive. Yeah. I have a lot of support from a lot of loving people in my life, which is fantastic, and I don't know what I would do without them.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, like having a relationship with God. It completely, like, makes things okay. Like, I don't know how I would be able to handle all of this if I didn't know, like, this was God's plan, and, like, He doesn't make mistakes. So that really helps me stay grounded and also like full of peace.
And ultimately too, like we don't know God's plan for us. But we know that no matter what happens, God's got this, and He's bringing us through it. And like that's really important.
It is so important.
I don't know how people do it without.
For sure. I think we're done with questions. So, if you guys want us to do another Q&A, if you have any questions that we would love to answer, please comment down below or message me on Facebook or Jazmin. We'd love to hear your questions. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can be aware of when I post again. And I'll see you guys next time.